Hi everyone, and welcome back to our What About series, where we look at the hot topics and difficult questions that you want to know. Now today the inspiration came from another video that I watched, and you're going to get to see this video later on as well. But the topic for today is what about responding to hate? Oh, also, we're now going to try and do these videos in just 5 minutes, so here we go.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Hate seems like it's everywhere at the moment, don't you think? With the Black Lives Matter movement and protests, although to be fair that's more like a response to the hate that's going on. But even with the accusations that are going to be thrown around about countries and people, whether or not people are following the lockdown, and whether or not a country has even caused COVID-19. And in case we've forgotten about it, Brexit. Hate and division is really strong in our community right now, even though at the same time, peace and love is a strong theme also. But just for this video, let's focus on the hate. At some point in all our lives, we're going to be the centre of someone else's hate, and majority of the time we're not even going to have deserved it. I want you now to pause this video and think about 3 questions. Firstly, what happened? What's your story? And I encourage you to share this with someone else. Second, how did you want to react in that situation? And finally, how did you react? How was it different from how you wanted to react? Pause here and chat about your answers with someone else too, and see what they have experienced and what they come up with for the answer to those questions. And remember, be honest here, even if the answer doesn't make you look good. Reflecting and thinking about what you'd want to do better next time is what's important. Okay, answer those questions and I'll see you back in a minute. When we're being attacked or facing hate, there's a number of different ways that we can react to those situations. Well, I've got 5 responses to hate that I want to run through. Firstly, you could respond to hate with more hate. Second, you could respond to hate with silence. Third, you could respond to hate with fear. And 4, you could respond to hate with logic. Okay, let's see how these all work. Hey, you! Yeah, you! I don't like you, I think you're pretty dumb. Response number 1. Yeah, well, I don't rate you much either, pal. Now, what are you going to do about it? Response number 2. Response number 3. I'm sorry, I'm really sorry, I don't know what I've done, but I'm so sorry, please, I'm so sorry. Number 4, logic. Yeah, well, that's an opinion, and as I learned from a video last week, opinions aren't facts. Okay, for sure these aren't the only ways that you can respond to someone that's showing you hate. But I want you to think about these 4 situations now, and these 4 responses, and think about the pros and cons of each approach. In a minute, I'm going to put my list up on the screen, and let's compare and see whether we match or whether you come up with anything that's different from mine. Alright, see you in a minute. So I put my thinking cap on there, and I've come up with my own list of pros and cons, and they're going to be coming over the screen as I'm speaking now. Feel free to pause now and have a longer look at each of them. Let me know how many of my pros and cons that you agree with. And did you get any that aren't on my list? Let me know in the comments below if you came up with anything that I didn't think of. So the smart cookies among you will be noticing that whilst I said 5 approaches, I've only covered 4 so far, so have a gold star. So cheesy, isn't it? The reason for this is that I really want to promote this last option, and that option is responding to hate with love. Now, I'm not suggesting if someone's coming at you trying to physically attack you, that you should run up and hug them back. And I'm also not saying that this is easy. In fact, I think this is probably the most difficult option out of the 5. But it's definitely the option that's going to work the best. There's a wise saying that goes like this: a gentle answer deflects anger, but harsh words make tempers flare. The Bible tells us that a gentle answer is like throwing water onto a fire. It calms it down and puts out the flames of hate and anger. But if you were to use harsh words, angry words back, it's more like throwing oil onto the fire. It's just going to get bigger and fuel the fire even more. Just think about this for a minute. Go back to the situation I asked you about earlier and consider how using a gentle answer might have played out in that situation. Now, I'm not saying it would have made it perfect, and there are still some people that are too angry even for a calm, gentle word. But it almost always is going to be a calming balm on the situation. At very least, it'll make you calmer and better able to deal with hate. Don't believe me or don't think that this approach could work? Well, this is where the video I mentioned earlier comes into play. I've linked it in the description below. I think it's an amazing example of how a gentle answer or showing love to someone that's showing you hate can have the most amazing response. And it's so close to a real life situation that you might experience. It's not out of this world, it's not crazy, it's a real life situation. So go watch that video now and come back here. I'll see you in a minute. What did you make of that video? I'm just so struck by the love that was shown. And I know that a $100 gift card is beyond the limit of what most of us can do. And I'm not saying we should try and match that every time we're faced with someone that hates us. But the love and the gentleness in that message that he showed to that YouTuber, did you see her jaw just hit the floor? It changed that whole situation around, changed her opinion. That gentle answer really did turn away and deflect her anger. I want to leave you with a final quote from Martin Luther King, and it says this: "Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that." And that is all about how to respond to hate. Thank you so much for watching this video. This is just the second in this series and we're improving it all the time. If you have any comments, suggestions, please put them down. If you want any future topics, then let me know in the comments as well. Like and subscribe so you know when the next video is coming out. I'll see you next week.